How do I sound, by the way?
You sound perfect. You sound great now.
Okay.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah, you sound great.
Like always.
Sound with them. Welcome to Direct to Video. VHS. A podcast where we pair movies like fine wine. I am your host, Tony Robusto.
And I am your host, Andy Reyes.
So, going back.
Harp noises.
Well, I can't do those, so thanks for pointing that out.
We're casting our minds back to 1979, which is so long ago. I always forget how old the Muppets are. I don't know. It's crazy to me. Also, because we're going back to 1979, it is technically, I believe, the 40th anniversary of this movie's release.
Oh, dang.
And several months, but for the purposes of this, for the purposes of what we're doing here,
because we do everything exactly on time.
Yeah, exactly. It was perfect timing, actually, as it turns out. We're recording this in July. The Muppet movie, the first ever Muppet movie, it has a budget of $8 million. Do you want to know what its box office was?
Oh, it had to have been crazy, right?
$76.7 million.
Yes!
In
fucking Muppets, what is up?
In 1979 money. I don't know, it blows my mind how old the Muppets are. Because before this, they had the show, right?
Yes, I believe that is where the Muppets sort of became the Muppets. And also, of course, before this, they had Sesame Street.
Was it before?
Big Bird is in this movie.
Yeah, I know, but...
So it would be that would be a fucking crazy called shot for them to put in Big Bird, have him have the line, "I'm going to try to break into public television."
Okay.
And then do Sesame Street.
Okay, but here's the thing, is the Muppets started in 1955. Sesame Street started in 1969. 10 years before the Muppet movie. So Big Bird had only existed for 10 years, and they made that joke. This movie is also, like, amazing in terms of, like, just how did they do that? But how did they do that, though? The fucking beginning of this movie, which we're in, this is something that I never really realized was a Muppet reference. It's a frog on a log. I thought that was just, like, a fun rhyme.
Whoa. I want to start a little bit before the beginning of this movie.
Yeah. Oh, with the framing device.
Yes, because they have the framing device that the Muppets are watching the movie.
The premiere of the movie, right?
Yeah, Statler and Waldorf are coming in. They say it's a private screening because they won't show it to the public or something like that. Mm-hmm. The one thing that stands out to me is I do believe that is South American Big Bird watching the movie in the back.
I love South American Big Bird.
It's a big old parrot, because they don't have canaries.
They do not have canaries.
There are a lot of Muppets in the theater that are not in the movie proper, which I feel like makes sense because they probably wrote the movie and shot the movie and were like, these are the characters we want in the movie, but we have a million characters. Anyway, then we start the movie for realsies.
For realsies.
Frog on a log.
Frog on a log. We got a frog on a log. Your classic all-American frog sitting on that log. Singing
Rainbow Connection. It struck me so hard. I don't know why it struck me this time, but it was like, I felt like it was the strongest start to almost any movie I've ever seen.
It is legitimately mesmerizing. Like, for me, it's one of those things where so as we all know, I am not familiar with the Muppets. I have no familiarity with the Muppets other than Sesame Street. Like, it's one of those things where I'm watching it, I'm like, that's where that comes from. This, like, quintessential scene of, like, Kermit on a log has been parodied so much in like, anything comedic. It's amazing to watch, and it's a beautiful song, too. But here's the thing. Kermit is sitting on this fucking log in the water, and you can see his feet, and he's playing that banjo, and Tony, how did they do it? Let me tell you how they did it. Fucking Jim Henson squeezed into a metal container that had an air hose and a rubber sleeve.
Kidding.
I am not fucking kidding with you. He squeezed into a metal coffin with an air hose underneath the log and the water that had a rubber sleeve he could stick his arm through to play Kermit, and a monitor so he could see what he was doing. And 2 other people still had to help him. 5 days to shoot just this scene.
Sometimes I'll watch a scene with a Muppet and I'll think, okay, so that's one hand, that's two hands, that's a third hand, right? So there's more than one person doing this Muppet.
Oh, wait till we get to the end of this movie, though.
Okay.
Where I legit think people just had their, like, were on their backs, arms and legs in the air to have enough limbs. And then, like, 2 minutes after that, we get an even more amazing thing. So Kermit's in there, playing this banjo, singing this song on a log. And then a Hollywood agent, our first cameo of the movie, like 10 seconds in, just starts paddling his way down this river and is like, help me, I'm lost.
Yeah, and this is a decent comedic scene, but it sets up the point of the movie, which is that the agent thinks Kermit could be a star, and Kermit's reason for wanting fame is to make people happy.
Millions of people happy.
Which I love. It's the best thing. I love that Kermit has such pure motives in seeking fame.
It's weird to watch a movie about Hollywood that is not about, it's not about being rich and famous. It's about, like, being a person.
If I have a problem with this movie, and it's hard to have a problem with this movie,
this is genuinely, like, the most optimistic film I've ever seen.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though. It has, like, a sort of unexaminedly positive view of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. But it sort of tints that with the main message, which is that not only that you can, like, achieve your dreams if you try, but that dreams are meant to be shared with other people, and that, like, together you can achieve your dreams, which is a really nice... Also, this core concept is a little bit like the core concept of the last two movies we watched. Mm-hmm. Which is like, even if you're fucking weird and there's nobody else like you, you will find your people. There's a lot to love about the Muppet movie.
There really is, though. But the thing is you're right. There's, like, this two-tonedness to it where, like, if you're watching this with the, like, naive eyes of a child, this is a movie about being yourself, following dreams that are worth following, which I think defining a dream that's worth following as a dream that you can share is a good definition. I don't think anyone could object to that definition.
Yeah, I really like that.
That message is great for kids, but as an adult, there's also this kind of other side of it where they're actively making fun of this idea of what Hollywood is supposed to be, and the kind of people who seek out fame and fortune for the sake of fame and fortune. And it's weird to see that playing out so well.
I don't want to just sit here and praise this movie the whole time, but it's going to be hard for me to do anything else. This is, like, it's not my favorite of the Muppet movies. Because I think that's the Muppet Christmas Carol, because I really like when it focuses on the humans and has the Muppets as side characters because they're so big. But, like, it might be my favorite of the movies that does focus on the Muppets, right?
Especially compared to the next movie, it's more of a movie with an arc. But also something about this movie, I feel like this movie kind of stacked its cameos very well. You get to a point where you're like, all right, this has to be the biggest actor they could have gotten for this movie, right? Okay, but this has to be the biggest actor, and then they literally get the biggest actor they could get, both in terms of physicality and in terms of sheer fame and weight, to do their final cameo, and you're like, come on!
So, next scene, Kermit is on a bike.
Kermit is on a bike, and
yep.
They do the thing where you see him riding a bike from a distance, and then that's the scene for like 2 minutes.
Do you know why? Because it should be impossible. And while you're watching it, you're like, this is impossible.
And you're asking yourself, how did they do that? How did they do it?
It's because Kermit's a real human person.
Let me tell you how they did it. Is they had a massive crane, an overhead crane, that had to be off and invisible, off of the visibility of the camera, right? So it's way fucking up there with a marionette system held with strong wire. It's very thin but strong, like string.
Somebody once told me that the Muppets didn't do marionettes, and it made me, like, irrationally angry. Like, what do you fucking know?
I get what they're saying, which is one of the things that makes the Muppets is you can, in a way that works, see where the hand is. Mm-hmm. But it works because there's a lot of personality in how they move their hands to do all of these faces. But when it's just Kermit in the distance riding a bike, dog, that's a marionette. I'm sorry. Where's the person? Are they did Jim Henson squeeze into the bicycle? Jim Henson's actually Mr. Fantastic and he just squeezed into the bike?
It sounds like maybe he would have if he could have.
If he had the power. Jim Henson saw Fantastic Four and he was like, well, if I could do that, yeah, it'd be easy.
Kermit sees a sign for...
Frog's legs.
Yeah, for Mr. Hopper's frog legs, which is like a... This is going to be the villain of the piece. He's like Colonel Sanders, but for frog legs.
Which is terrifying.
Because who would want that?
They got his character design as close to Colonel Sanders. I feel like they had a lawyer on set every day. Like, no, you can't do that. That's a lawsuit. Shave off that mustache. That's a lawsuit.
Kermit's bike is destroyed, which is... he takes that in stride pretty much. He's like, okay.
It takes a lot to phase Kermit.
And the next scene, he just enters a bar.
Pretty dangerous to build a road in the middle of the street. I think that's his line.
That's a great line.
And it's a great line. Kermit's got a lot of zingers. He's very witted.
It was also not a bad Kermit, but it was a little bit Rossy.
Again, my voice is too deep. It's going to take me a while. I need to, like, inhale helium.
So Kermit goes into the
seedy bar, which is
very oddly seedy bar.
This bar is...
I feel like it's a seedy French restaurant, is the joke.
It's a bistro. Everyone's wearing suits, but also everyone's really mad about it.
Well, some people were wearing like those like stereotypical French striped shirts.
Yeah.
And like and fighting, and everybody was eating frog leg something or other. Casseroles or soups or fried frog legs. And on stage is Fozzie the Bear. You know, Fozzie's problem as a character is that he's not funny, but he's a comedian.
He is a comedian who is not funny to such an extent
that is comedic.
Yeah, that by kind of watching him from afar, it's funny because of how not funny he is. He's like a Gallagher pastiche.
But in this movie, he's clearly not funny because he is playing to the worst crowd. He starts this joke. There was a sailor that was so fat, and a fat sailor stands up and said, "How fat was he?"
Breaks a bottle and just like, come on, come at me, Furball. How fat was he?
And he's like, he was so fat that everybody liked him, and there was nothing funny about him at all.
But if Fozzie had an ounce of courage, I feel like he would have, if he had made the joke, he would have at least been respected.
He would have been killed.
Not necessarily. Maybe the guy's just being an asshole.
You can be an asshole and have a weapon.
And kill somebody, you're right.
Yes,
but
as it happens.
But I'm saying if he got the crowd on his side, then they would just laugh at him and he'd put the bottle shard down and go, "Oh man, I'm being made fun of in public." You can't kill somebody when you're being made fun of in public. That's when you go out the back and you wait. But then if you're Fozzie, you just go out the front door and you're fine.
Kermit saves Fozzie, or tries to save Fozzie's act by doing a little dance routine. It does not go what I would call well.
It doesn't. But then Fozzie has an old trick up his sleeve. Where he tells everybody that there are drinks on the house, and everybody starts leaving this bistro en masse, and I was like, what's going on? And my first thought was, oh, they're all going home because there are drinks on the house. But then the camera pans up to the roof of the establishment, and they're all standing up there like, there's no drinks up here.
And Fozzie's like, it works every time. He is always using this. That's great.
And they fall for it every time.
Every time.
There's another great joke here where they talk about, like, if you touch a frog, it'll give you warts. And Kermit says, that's a myth. Myth. And then this woman with the lisp comes out and says, yeah. That joke is great. It happens again, and I loved it the second time a lot more.
The running gags in this movie are way better than the running gags in the next movie.
Yes, with a couple of exceptions. What I will say is that one of the great things about this movie is that the movie we're watching is the movie I want to watch. I want to watch these Muppets get to Hollywood, and I don't want to miss a second of it. It is the most interesting thing happening in this movie are what these Muppets are doing. So every time we follow them somewhere, I'm happy to go.
And a road trip story is just like a straightforward good story, and you can do almost anything with it.
I do have one problem with this road trip, though, and it seems like most of this road trip happens in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
They do spend a lot of time in the desert. Okay, so...
Yeah, but like a very specific part of the desert, right? Like...
So, they leave together. Kermit has sort of incidentally wrangled Fozzie into his dream of going to Hollywood. And Fozzie has a Studebaker. So.
Here's the thing is, Fozzie has a car. So Kermit needs him. But here's the other thing is, Fozzie has no reason to help him other than A, he's lonely, and B, he's a sub through and through. He needs a Dom to order him around. And
I was going to say
Dom.
Fozzie is a follower, and I wasn't going to make it weird.
I don't think it's weird. Kermit gives off an immense amount of Dom energy in this movie that you don't see in the next movie, where he's just ordering people around.
Okay.
Do you not like this? Do you not like the idea of Kermit being a Dom?
I don't like the phrase, man. I don't like anybody being called a Dom who also spent a lot of time on Sesame Street.
Fine, he's a leader.
Thank you. They get stopped by... What the hell was his name? Hopper.
Hopper.
They get stopped by Hopper.
Okay, well...
Who... Yeah.
Is it Doc Hopper or Don Hopper? Doc Hopper. It's Doc Hopper.
I believe it's Doc Hopper. Well, it's sort of like Colonel Sanders, you know? He's got a title and a last name. So they're stopped by Doc Hopper, who offers Kermit the lowest pitch I've ever fucking heard. Which is part of the joke, but like, fuck, dude.
This is insanity to me. It's like, hey, kid, how would you like to destroy every moral sensibility you could have?
He offers him $500 a year to support a genocide of his kind.
No, because they don't die.
Well, Kermit says he doesn't like the idea of all those frogs needing crutches, and like Hopper's little assistant
Max
has this like look where he like, I feel like it looks like he wants to say something, but he's not, which is probably those frogs are dead.
No, we eat the rest of the frog too. We just market the legs.
Yeah, they're just ground up and made into shakes.
Well, that's what happened to Tiny Tim.
I'm leaving that silence in. So, moving right along. Chicka chick, chicka chick. Let's get to the next scene.
Here's one thing I kind of don't like, but kind of love at the same time about this movie, which is it seems to be a movie of vignettes, which is good for what this movie is.
I think it really works for this movie.
And I was going to say, like, I don't think any other movie could do what this movie does and get away with it. We find out that Fozzie learned how to drive with a mail-in driving course. There's an ongoing joke in this movie that ends about right here, which is every time somebody says that they're lost, somebody else recommends that they try Hare Krishna. And it ends here because they get to a church, this church that looks like it's in some antebellum part of the United States. And on the sign it says, "Are you lost? Try talking to Reverend Hare Krishna." Fantastic punchline to that joke.
It's very good.
But we walk into that church and we find out that it's not a church.
Didn't they get to the church because they were running from Hopper? Because he stopped them again.
At that point, yeah, Doc Hopper is...
Yeah. Now we know that he's, like, on their trail.
And he's gone off the deep end at this point. He's like...
And also, how did Hopper find them? Because they're taking the most untraceable path. They should have lost him back in Rhode Island. Or Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Not only did he find them, he got ahead of them and built a sign.
He got ahead of them and stopped them at his sign. Like, that should have been impossible. It was great.
It's amazing.
It was great because it made no sense.
So we're at the church, and they go inside, and the church is not a church. It's more of a establishment under renovation, I would say. In that it is a falling apart piece of shit. That this band, are they called Rainbow Connection?
Oh, no, these are the Electric Mayhem.
The Electric Man. Is that what they're called?
Electric Mayhem.
Electric Mayhem. Okay.
Yep. You know, I think it was... something said during it was one of the podcasts I listened to. I think it was the Flophouse, who we shouldn't talk about because they're basically like, what if our show was way better?
I don't know. They're willing to talk about movies that we won't talk about. So
yeah. But like Elliot Kalin
Mm-hmm.
talked about how he loves Animal. But when you contextualize Animal as like a human being, he's the scariest fucking thing you can think of.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The moment Animal stops being a Muppet, like, he's a person who can bite through steel.
He's a person who can bite through steel, who looks at women and goes, "Wah!" And like explode shit at any notice. This is the craziest guy you know. And he's a drummer for a band, and that's because he likes banging on the drums, but also, I feel like it's the thing the drummer is supposed to do is like keep the beat, and I bet he's bad at it.
Or maybe he's amazing at it.
Instead of explaining to the Electric Mayhem why they're here and what they're doing,
Because that would bore the audience.
right, they give them the copy of the script. And one of my favorite lines is when they open it up and go, or no, way after they open it up, because they're reading through the whole thing, they just go, "Interior Church Day," and they're like replaying what we just saw and talking over it.
Those guys don't look Presbyterian.
Yeah. It's so great. They decide to redesign the Studebaker so that they're not recognizable anymore. Because what is less recognizable than a tie-dyed car? Which leads me to one of the great lines where Fozzie goes, "I don't know how to thank you guys." Kermit says, "I don't know why to thank you guys."
Yes, I love that line so much. It like spoke to my soul. Like, that's a thing I'm going to tell people now. I don't know why I should thank you. They drive out and immediately run into Doc Hopper and Max, and Doc Hopper's like, "We need to find this brown Studebaker driven by a bear and a frog." And Max is like, "Well, all I see is a tie-dyed Studebaker driven by a bear and a frog." It turns out the recognizable part wasn't the car.
But here's the other thing, is it still fucking works because they park in front of a sign that's like a multicolored sign and lose them.
Yeah, well, and thank God that sign was there, but...
Like a police car painted green in Maine.
Sure.
All right. Somebody's ever driven through the Northeast.
I've never been farther east than Chicago, Tony.
Right. I don't think they paint the cars green there. There's a thing where on highways, in green areas, they will paint the police cars green so that all the cars won't slow down when they see them, so they can catch people speeding.
Huh. Narcs.
The biggest kind of narcs. Cops.
The worst narc of all.
Is this when they hit Gonzo?
Yeah. This car crash is the best car crash I've seen in a long time, because unlike most car crashes, where when they don't show the car crash, I hate the movie. In this one, when they don't show the car crash, I'm laughing my ass off. Because it's cut in such a way that I was thinking, oh, we're going to watch two little toy cars crash into each other. But then nothing happens. And the camera just zooms out and you see this car that looked like it was built out of like 50 red hot wheelbarrows with plywood and an engine duct taped to it, sitting perfectly on top of the Studebaker.
And Gonzo gets in, Fozzie says, "We picked up a weirdo." Which I love.
And his girlfriend, Camila the Chicken.
Camila the Chicken.
Which is a joke that I didn't get until about 66% into this movie.
I believe at this point in the Muppet canon, they are an established couple. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I would not be able to quote anyone else on that, Tony. We have been doing this show for how long, and neither of us have gone to the Muppet Wiki until now.
Her proper introduction was the Muppet Show episode 318 when she and Gonzo have their first date.
Wow, and that aired?
Wait, the premiere was July 5th, 1979. When did the movie come out?
The movie came out 1979 in July.
So they might not have technically been an established couple, because this is her first episode was on the 5th.
The movie came out in, it says here May, June, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. They go to a car dealership.
Yes, they do, because they need to trade in a better car.
Right, because now they have 4 people in this car. Or 0 people, but a frog, a bear, something, and a chicken.
I am not fucking with you, Tony, when I say this. I legitimately thought for about 2 seconds that Ronald fucking Reagan was in this movie. Now, isn't he being president right now? But it's not Ronald Reagan. It's somebody else.
Probably like an actual big actor that we just don't know, actually. Because that's who everybody in this movie is.
It is Milton Berle, who has the most terrifying smile I have ever seen.
So they have another great comedic scene.
With the buying the car, right? And,
yeah, with just like snappy banter back and forth. The basic crux of it is, for these two cars, he's offering a $12 trade-in. And so he's totally ready to rip them off. But Sweetums...
I'm really glad you knew his name because I did not know what to call him for this whole movie other than Jack, which he clearly says is not his name, it's his job.
Yes, so Sweetums, he like kills a fly in the exact place to put a decimal in the number, like I think it was like 11.95.
No, you're right. It's 95 because they get a nickel back on their $12 trade.
Because yes, you owe us a nickel. Yep, that's it. And so they get this new car, which is, a little bigger.
It's a nice looking car though.
Sure, but this guy sells some bullshit, so like probably not as good as a Studebaker actually.
But it's bigger. It's got that wood paneling on the side.
Which I think looks gross, but
peak
whatever.
70s. Oh, it's disgusting. It is absolutely horrid, but that's some fucking peak 70s shit. Are those cars with wood paneling on the outside. Like, I want my fucking car to look like my countertop.
I want my car to look like my kitchen.
You know how a knife with a wooden handle looks super gross? I want my car to look like that. Forever.
In this next scene, this is literally my least favorite thing about this movie.
Uh-huh.
And it's such a small thing. We are not told why the hell they are at a carnival.
They're just at a county fair, and here's the fucking thing is...
There must have been a cut scene, right? That's what it feels like.
It does feel like that, but also, as soon as I started watching this, as soon as I saw the county fair, I'm like, oh, this is where we're going to meet Miss Piggy, because that's where pigs are, right? County fucking fairs. But here's the thing is we just watched Babe, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the scenario's going to be.
Oh my god.
Until we get to the fashion show pageant, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Miss Piggy is the winner of this local county beauty pageant.
Because, of course, she is.
Which, okay.
Well, I mean, once you see who the judges are, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I almost forgot.
The fucking Night of the Living Dummy.
Miss Piggy and Kermit lock eyes, and Piggy has this song, just like a love song, where like she and Kermit, she has this vision of them just like being together, and it kind of, not to put too fine a point on it, looks like they are making love on the grass. Both of them lower out of camera, is out of camera view is the thing, and there's something. It's like in my movie watching brain, I'm like, okay, well, if two people are kissing and they go out of view of the camera, that means one thing, right?
We've seen The Lion King. We know what happened. When one character makes Nala eyes at another character, we know what's happening. Timon sang about it to us. We know.
Specifically, Muppets cannot make Nala eyes.
I don't know. Miss Piggy's making some heavy Nala eyes at Kermit. If anyone can do it, it's Miss Piggy. But here's what I'll say, though, is that this is a thing where I'm watching, because it's like a vignette of a bunch of different scenes in her imagination, and every single one of them, I'm like, that has to be a fucking reference to something. But I have no idea what it could be, because I wasn't born in the 70s.
Oh, we just also didn't watch all these old movies.
My favorite one is the one where she's sitting at like a river with a waterfall and there's a boat. And I know Kermit is a frog and he's supposed to be just swimming, but it looks like he's drowning and she's just watching it happen, like an Agatha Christie villain.
So here's what struck me. The fact that Miss Piggy appears to just teleport over to them with the power of love. Because at the end of those vignettes, she's just standing next to Kermit.
And there was a huge crowd of people.
And they hit it off pretty immediately.
Oh, before we're done, though, at the end of that scene, they get married in her fantasy. And they're driving away in a car that says, I do too. Which does not, I don't think, sound like what they think it sounds like, which is, I also love you. It sounds more like this is the second time I've been married. And welcome to my movie, I Do Too, The Divorce.
Oh.
Sorry.
Why would you focus on the divorce? If it's called I Do Too...
It has to happen for the second do to I.
Okay, but like if you wrote I Do as like a romantic comedy, I Do Too would be the divorce?
No.
It wouldn't be like... after the next romance after that?
So the first movie is this romantic comedy, right, where they get together and they're both people who like hate the idea of marriage, but at the end of the movie they marry each other, right? Like that's the whole premise of this romantic comedy, and they get married. And I Do Too,
got it, with you.
I Do Too starts with them getting divorced. That's scene one. You know why? Because there's nothing funnier than two people sitting in a room who were just got married in one movie and in this movie are like, yeah, we're getting divorced. It was just too much. And then the date is like 2 days after they got married.
Okay, I need a quick clarification. Why are they getting divorced? How much animosity is in the room?
None. Absolutely
okay.
None.
Cool.
It's just, hey, turns out we do hate being married, so we're just gonna not be married.
I was trying to keep the energy, like what feeling is in the room. They hate being married. Okay, cool.
The feeling in the room is that marriage is a mistake, and then the rest of the movie happens.
Okay, wait, so is the rest of the movie these two just getting married again?
Yes!
Yes! Andy, I love it. I thought they were going to meet other people, but fuck that noise.
No. They do just get married again. But the second time, no one's excited for the wedding. They're all like, oh, this is a little weird. Weddings are really expensive.
It's okay. We'll have side characters also.
Yeah, they'll be like, having their own adventures.
This is frankly great. Although the idea of selling a rom-com on the idea that you will make a sequel rom-com that's the exact same thing is terrible.
The only
and
problem,
I love it.
The only problem is we have to get permission to make the first movie or none of it pays off.
And there is no... I want something clear. There is no plot to the first movie.
No.
It's just that these people don't want to get married, and they will.
And then they do. For tax purposes, baby. I don't know. Because in the second movie, they have to get married for real, for love. But in the first movie, that can't happen. They have to get married for some other reason. So they go on a date.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so Miss Piggy has sort of invited herself along with them. And...
Are you okay?
I am really excited for I Do Too.
The divorce.
I love I Do Too, the divorce.
This date is amazing, if only because A, it's incredibly cheap.
Okay, so this is... I think it's the best running gag in the Muppets, is the idea that the Muppets never have any money. And I don't know why that calls to me so much, besides maybe I never have any money? And it's like, they're just like me! This frog also won't spring for good wine!
Which you shouldn't.
There's no point to it.
There's no point
Although
to it, man.
Steve Martin gives... Maybe the best performance in the movie is from Steve Martin.
The difference between Steve Martin and every other cameo is he's not a cameo. He gets a whole ass scene.
Yes.
And he's... A, those short shorts are amazing. They're great short shorts. But B, I can tell he's having so much fun, but he is so sardonic. Like, he's oozing with sarcasm in a way that, for a little while, I was like, does he not like doing this? And then I went, oh, he's having a lot of fun is what's happening.
Oh, no. He loves doing this.
He loves doing this.
Remember that Steve Martin was also in that movie directed by Frank Oz that I'm missing the name of right now, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, he was.
So, like, you have to assume that at some point he, like, hit it off with them, right?
I feel like maybe he was just a big fan of the Muppets.
Yeah.
If anyone would understand what the Muppets were trying to do, it would be Steve Martin. Because that level of, like, fourth wall breaking absurdism.
That's very his type of comedy, especially at that point in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So Piggy gets a call from her agent and leaves Kermit. Now we get, finally, it took us a while, but we get to Rolf. Who plays Kermit a song about women and how
about love.
about how it's like an inescapable thing for them. And it's really good.
It's a fun song.
You've seen the Muppets. It's good. I like Rolf. He's one of my favorites. He's great at the piano, and he's got a lot of jokes.
God, what does he say? I'm no Heinzel, and I'm just like, that's like, even for me, that's a deep pull. Like, I barely know who that guy is.
Rolf is, in my mind, like, at the same level of Sam the Eagle, as far as, like, comedic timing goes, but you get to see Rolf more often.
Sam the Eagle gets one line in this movie. It's a great line. He gets 2 in the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm so mad, because he's definitely my favorite Muppet.
I really like his 2 lines in the next movie, too.
They're great.
So then Kermit gets a call, and it's Doc Hopper. Turns out he has kidnapped Miss Piggy and tells him to come outside. So he goes outside, and like 6 dudes point guns at him. And he just says, "Are you the guys I'm supposed to meet?"
And then like 70 guns are just pointed at this tiny frog. And it's like, all right.
Little frog.
So here's the thing, right? Is we just had Steve Martin in this movie for like 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, this is going to be the only actor I recognize in this movie filled with well, Richard Pryor was in it a lot earlier, but no one knows who Richard Pryor is. This is going to be the last actor I recognize in this movie. That was my thought. So I was like satisfied with that. And then who comes walking on screen during this kidnapped scene where Kermit and Miss Piggy are tied to a beam by this fucking KFC looking ass motherfucker? Who comes waltzing into my life, Tony?
Andy, I don't recognize people. I had to look up Steve Martin.
Mel Brooks.
It's Mel
German
Brooks.
scientist.
Oh my god.
As the German scientist, and I was like, is that Mel Brooks? It's amazing. Oh, actually, before we get to that though, Rolf does say the sentence tickling the ivories. Not a fan of that.
You don't like tickling the ivories?
I'm not a fan about it. Is such a overtly sexual way to say playing the piano that I do not enjoy.
Do you think that actually it's not, and you're wrong?
No.
Now, what? Really think about it.
No, I refuse.
Can we get back to Mel Brooks?
Yeah, let's go back to Mel Brooks. Dr. Professor Craftsman. Max Craftsman. I thought it was Craftsman, but no, it's just Max Craftsman.
Professor Craftsman.
Professor Max Craftsman.
The world's leading authority on the rapidly growing field of mind control in frogs.
Why? Why do you need a leading authority on this?
Actually, mind control in frogs, that might be something that there is an actual leading authority of.
Oh, there is definitely a person who has mind-controlled frogs out there and wrote a paper about it. And I probably read part of it.
You gotta, like, cut open their brain and stick some wires in or something, but I bet you can do it. He brings in this huge-ass, like, the most ridiculous and kind of intimidating-looking mind control device.
A mind control device that, according to him, is not only very expensive, but constantly being worked on. Every day they put on a new knob and a new dial and a new switch. And what do? Who fucking knows? But we're doing it, goddammit. That's science.
He says something like, "You think we're sleeping in Germany?"
He's really...
That was, like, way too Jewish.
Well, later on, he calls the helmet part of the device the electric...
electric yarmulke.
Yeah, the electric yarmulke. And he walks onto this scene, and this scene is immediately a scene that was written and directed by Mel Brooks. That's just who Mel Brooks is. Mel Brooks is a lot like dropping a very hot pepper into a soup. It might have been chicken soup, but as soon as you drop that pepper in there, it's fucking pepper soup. He gets incredibly close to just frying Kermit's brains.
Very close. It definitely looks like Kermit does not do anything to stop this.
Other than maybe make himself incredibly small.
But then Piggy busts out, beats up everybody else. I think has to beat up Mel Brooks twice, because she gives him a hit and then he still tries to pull a thing.
She throws a guy through a wall.
I also believe that he ends up brain fried. It's not clear. I feel like the yarmulke does not touch him, but the assumption is he has been brain fried.
Yeah, he gets brain fried. He becomes the frog. Coming this summer, Miss Piggy in Hambo. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Kermit and Piggy are about to like have their big denouement moment, and she gets an actual call from her actual agent.
And she's just gone.
Just immediately is gone. There's not even a goodbye. And what I find really interesting is at this point, the film literally stops. And I assume it's because it goes back to our framing device, which is the Muppets watching the movie. Because it turns out the Swedish chef has messed up the reels or the film. And I assume this is to, like, relieve some tension that they're afraid the audience might feel, to sort of remind us that everything turns out okay, and that Piggy is part of the Muppets and all this.
The thing is so much has happened at this point. I do feel like there is a lot of pent-up tension, and for a kids movie, you gotta let that go, and this was a good time. I do think this movie and the next movie use their framing devices in really interesting ways. But in this movie, it serves to remind, I assume, the kids watching this movie, hey, it's a movie. All these characters that you like are just having fun. But it also sets up an amazing line that we're going to get to in a couple minutes. We get a great exchange between Kermit and his nephew, where Kermit's like, oh, this is the patriotic part. Oh, should we stand up? No.
Fozzie is singing America the Beautiful.
Yeah, while they're driving through Colorado.
Amber waves of grain. It could frankly be anywhere.
Well, at some point, we do get a shot of the President Mountain.
Mount Rushmore.
Thank you. And at that point, I'm like, okay, but that's in fucking Montana.
No, they weren't actually there. It is not, in fact, in Montana.
It's not in Montana? Where the fuck is it?
I believe it is in North Dakota.
That's close to Montana.
I'm not saying it's far from Montana. I am telling you that Mount Rushmore is not in Montana.
Okay, it's in South Dakota.
Is it in South Dakota?
It's in South Dakota. Okay. So, I'm glad that I'm not wrong. I'm glad that we're both wrong is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Cool.
But also, it's North and South Dakota are literally, like, next to Montana. Anyway, the point is they're very far from Hollywood at this point.
I just want something clear. I don't think they are in North Dakota.
No, they're clearly still in Albuquerque.
I think they're supposed to be in the Midwest somewhere.
They spend 90% of this movie like just outside of like fucking, I don't know, Utah.
Ralph is with them, which of course he is. But it is important to mention because the formal invitation was not really given to him on screen.
Miss Piggy shows up again at this point, doesn't she?
She does. And I love this because she waves them down and Fozzie stops. But, like, nobody is happy about this except kind of Kermit,
no,
who is more...
He's not happy about this because she throws her, like, big-ass fucking suitcase on.
Even before that, somebody... I think Ralph says, do you think we should help her with her bag? And Gonzo's like, no.
And, yeah, everyone just watches her slowly get on the vehicle.
Sits there. Yeah, like, they all know they're going to pick her up.
But also, no one's moving an inch.
Yes.
And Miss Piggy looks at Kermit and says something along the lines of, like, a lot has happened since I last saw you. And Kermit, the fucking savage man that he is like, quite frankly, I don't care. Like, you've destroyed the structure of this movie. Just be glad that you're back. This tension is so weird because it's really funny.
Oh, it's great. Here's the thing. I felt like Rolf.
Yeah.
I was like, what is it like when, like, you know, two people have this weird ass history and, like, they're into each other, right?
Yeah, they're still definitely into each other.
They'll probably get together. This will probably be forgiven. But right now?
At this moment.
Fucking now? This sucks. And we all need to just sit here with how much it sucks.
Here's the thing, right, is today, when that moment happens, I'm pulling out my fucking iPhone, right? That's not an option in 1979. What do you do?
The only healthy relationship in this movie is between Camilla and Gonzo.
They're both always talking, but because Camilla's a chicken, you never really get to hear that conversation.
So then the car breaks down, right?
Yeah, the car breaks down in the desert.
I told you it was a piece of shit.
This is our down point in the movie, our low point, where Kermit's just he doesn't believe in himself anymore.
Well, not only that, so the car is broken down, and we didn't really establish this, and it's hard to say for certain that the movie established it very well, but there was like an end, there was open interviews, or what do you call it when it's...
Auditions.
Open auditions for frogs, and they're not going to make them.
Yeah, they're just not going to make the audition date, because it's tomorrow.
And everybody is sad, and Kermit says, I didn't promise anybody anything. We were just going to try. And Gonzo sings this, like, really surprisingly bittersweet song that's like about flying. Earlier in the movie, he accidentally flew and he grabbed a hold of some balloons.
Yeah, this is during the county fair. Oh my god, we completely forgot to mention the scene where they run into a billboard and then a big-ass fucking pie gets thrown at Doc KFC. That happens.
Yeah, it does. It's
really good.
It's solid. Also appears to be a real pie because Max eats some of it.
I really hope
you
it was
should
a
not
real
put
pie.
that on your billboard.
Oh, I bet it's got a lot of lead in it if it's not real pie.
Well, then it would be sweet.
There you go.
So, Gonzo sings this really bittersweet song about flying and how he won't fly again. Or it's like a feeling that's impossible to capture again. That's really a song about how they tried to follow their dreams and failed. And Kermit wanders off
to talk to the only person he can talk to get him through these problems.
This is
himself.
A shockingly strong scene. I really love this scene.
I shat on it a little bit with that, but it is beautiful. Like this, first of all, this song has a line in it that I genuinely love, which is, there is not a word yet for old friends who just met.
Oh my god. That line is gorgeous.
I teared up. I was like, what is this? What is this movie? And then Kermit wanders off and he keeps this is kind of what he says over and over again, which is, I didn't promise anyone anything. Kermit, dream Kermit, right? The frog on the log Kermit. This to me, and this is going to sound super fucking pretentious, but I genuinely mean this. This to me is like a good way to do an internal monologue in a way that I think Shakespeare was trying to get across with his soliloquies.
Well, it's definitely a harder thing to do on stage, right?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is on stage when you can only have one person. The way you do it is you just have them argue with themselves, and what the actors will usually do is they'll walk from one side of the stage to represent one point of view to the other side of the stage to represent the other point of view, which is why Hamlet paces a lot in Hamlet. But this is awesome. It's so beautiful to see Kermit, the person who doesn't think this is possible, and Kermit, who wants to follow the dream, having this genuine discussion of what a dream is.
And it sort of ends with, Kermit's been saying this whole time, I didn't promise anybody anything, and he says, I guess I promised myself. And with that realization, he heads back to the fire, and the electric mayhem's here!
Yeah, how did they find them?
They still had the script book, and it said exterior desert night, so they knew exactly where they were.
Yeah, exterior desert night. There's a small town in Utah called that, so that's just where they went. Oh man, I really wish there was a small town in a desert called exterior desert night. That'd be great.
They pile everybody onto the bus so they can get them to Hollywood on time. But then when they're driving, they get pulled over by Max committing a felony.
This is probably the biggest crime that this movie commits, is impersonating an officer.
I'm not going to make that claim. I believe there are actually a lot of crimes committed. There's kidnapping.
In terms of what's morally wrong, kidnapping is worse. But kidnapping isn't necessarily a federal crime unless you kidnap somebody over state lines. Impersonating an officer, federal crime. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying the system is wrong.
So Max pulls them over and tells them that Hopper's coming after them. And Kermit's like, nah, I'm gonna face this guy. I'm not gonna keep running from him all my life. So they go to this little ghost town with a full dead horse skeleton. I don't know why that struck me so strong. And as soon as they drive in, it just collapses in on itself.
It's great. It's a good bit. I love it. I love a good bit. And again, this has to be a reference to something. No idea what it is.
Kermit gets out of the bus and is gonna go face Doc Hopper alone, but then Animal needs to go out for a walk. So I need to check. I don't know the names of the individual Muppets in the Electric Mayhem.
It's not the teeth guy who's taking him, right?
No, it is not Dr. Teeth, who I do know.
Is it Floyd Pepper, Janice
Floyd.
Zoot? Okay.
It's Floyd.
Why does Floyd Pepper get two names? But, oh, I know why. Pink Floyd, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's really funny. Zoot as in Zoot Suit. These are all really good jokes, actually.
Floyd might not be Red Hot Chili Peppers. It might be Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts.
Because it is 1979, and I don't think the Red Hot Chili Peppers existed. So
yes, Floyd and Animal also come with Kermit because Animal needs a walk.
Which, again, what is his relationship? Is he their pet?
I think so, basically. Let's just say yes. They go into this apparently abandoned saloon, which actually has Beaker and Honeydew in it, who I did not remember or expect to be in this movie.
When they showed up, my reaction was, oh, those guys. But this turned out to be my favorite scene in the movie in terms of comedic timing. Because, guys, this is how you fucking do foreshadowing. Do you want to know how to do foreshadowing? This scene and the scene that comes after it are how you do it. Chekhov walked so that this scene could run. They're showing off a bunch of their inventions, and one of their inventions are these, like, growth pills that can make anything that consumes it any size. And as an example, they have this, like, massive plum.
They say it's a failure because it doesn't, like, because it wears off. But I think for a lot of uses, that's really good.
Yeah, there's plenty of things that you want to be big for a short amount of time.
If you're trying to like end world hunger, then it's not going to work.
No. But
for a bunch of other stuff, that could be very useful. Fuck you, Andy. So.
What? Why? What did I do? I was agreeing with you.
Oh, I just assumed the phrase there are plenty of things you want to be big for a short amount of time was gross. And I didn't want to get into it.
I don't understand. It's the one time I was genuinely like, yeah, dude, you're absolutely right.
Okay, but what's worse, Andy? That it's the one time you've genuinely been with me on something?
Okay, but wait, when you say it like that, maybe be right more often.
Hurts. So, Kermit goes out to meet Doc Hopper.
Wah, wah, wah.
He gets these boots and hat from somewhere, I guess.
I think he just had Kermit. So here's the thing. Kermit earlier in this movie on his date is wearing like a nice suit. He's wearing boots and a cowboy hat, which means Kermit chooses to go green. He can have clothes. He just doesn't want to. And frankly, there's nothing more American than that. I guess.
So he has this face off where he basically explains the premise of the movie, which is that Doc Hopper's dream is not worth pursuing because he's pursuing it alone.
I love how he starts this monologue, which is just like this tense stare down. He's like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
You're chasing a bunch of Muppets across the country. And for what? For your fucking stupid Frog Legs restaurant? It really puts this movie in perspective.
And he talks about how his dream is worthwhile, and we kind of went into why his dream is worthwhile already. This scene really like nails down what the point of it is, and he has this great bow on top where he's like, and I think you're a good person, and I think you want to let us go. And then Doc Hopper's like, okay, boys, shoot him.
Oh, we didn't talk about my favorite character, fucking Metal Gear Solid Snake Walker. The greatest frog hunter in America. And the reason we didn't talk about him is because he doesn't do shit in this movie.
He's not a character. Do you know who he's fucking is? He's fucking,
He's the
I'm not trying to think of his real name. I'm trying to think of a character that I immediately compared him to as soon as you started talking about him. Boba Fett.
Yeah,
he is Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's just cool.
Yeah, he's just cool and then doesn't do shit for shit.
He does absolutely. In fact, Boba Fett does more than him because at least Boba Fett jumped into a fucking pit, fucking bantha pit and died, or whatever the fuck that mouth in the desert's called. Well, this guy just leaves. He just leaves. Which, to be fair, I would leave too.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing, right? Is what 2 seconds ago we were talking about these massive growth pills. Do you know who was eyeing those growth pills? This fucking 500-foot animal. And as in the Muppet. Because he just bursts out of the ceiling like fucking Godzilla and starts roaring his head off. And everyone's like, yeah, no, time for us to leave this movie, actually. Now, here's my question for you, Tony. Did they build a giant animal head?
I don't think so, right? Right, they just built a small building and burst animal through it. Because that must be a thing they do all the time, is build buildings that are about the size for a Muppet to use.
Okay, but I don't know. It really feels like they could have at least built a larger than average animal head for this specific shot. Because if it was just Animal the Muppet, wouldn't they have gotten his hands out there too?
Here's the great thing about the Muppets, though, is the magic is that you don't know, right?
You don't know. And believe me, I did extensive Googling and could not find an answer. So I'm going to believe that they just built a fucking life-size 500-foot animatronic animal head for this one shot. Because who's going to prove me wrong? Who would want to?
Then they get to Hollywood, right?
They get to Hollywood.
They get to Hollywood, there's some normal driving past famous sites and all that, whatever.
Classic Hollywood montage.
They get into the, I forget who this guy is.
The head of Worldwide Studios or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And his name is Lou Lord, a studio executive.
Okay. They make his secretary sneeze until she lets him in.
They literally, they practically inject her with bee venom so that she'll just let him into his office. And I lost my goddamn fucking mind when Orson Welles is sitting in a chair smoking a cigar like he's fucking Citizen Kane. I legit paused the movie and started yelling in my house. I was hyped for Orson Welles. And not only is Orson Welles in this movie, unlike 90% of other movies that he's in, where he kind of looks like he's drinking 50 whiskeys and calling it a day, he looks like he's having a good time. He has one line, but he delivers that line, and it is hands down, I think my favorite cameo line in the entire movie. He just leans forward and he just get me the standard rich and famous contract.
He says his exact line, because I love it so much.
It's so good.
Is, prepare the standard rich and famous contract for Kermit the Frog and Company.
Orson Welles says the words Kermit the Frog. And I genuinely don't think people understand how big Orson Welles was. Because I don't, and I try to. But here's the thing about Orson Welles, though, that makes me find this incredibly funny, is that's what his career was. He did stage plays at his college, and literally before he graduated, a dude in Hollywood was like, I'm gonna give you as much money as you want to make a movie because you're so amazing and I want you to be rich and famous for the rest of your life. And Orson Welles was like, cool. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make the greatest movie of all time. And that was the beginning of his career. So if anyone is allowed to give somebody a rich and famous contract, it is Orson motherfucking Welles, the largest man in Hollywood, physically and metaphorically, because he is a very large man.
The movie sort of ends with them making the movie.
Yes. Well, and then ruining the movie.
In a scene that must have been really fun, absolutely destroying this whole movie set that they made.
There is a point where it looks like they literally aimed a cannon 90 degrees vertical and fired it into the ceiling because they were told they could not destroy the warehouse, but they really wanted to. It really sounds to me like Jim Henson was like, can we destroy this building? And someone said no. And he said, can we destroy the rafters? And they said, sure.
Look, just tell me what can be destroyed on this building. Fair warning, it will be destroyed.
Somebody just took a magic marker and drew a circle on the roof. That's it. That's all you're allowed. And he's like, all right.
Get a reprise of Rainbow Connection.
With an actual rainbow. This has to be, I think, the most extensive Muppet shot in history because it has 250 Muppet characters. And 137 people were enlisted along with the already 23 Muppeteers to do this scene. So 150 people are standing in a fucking this pit holding up all of these Muppets. It is amazing.
Oh,
Credits.
What a good movie. 10 out of 10.
This is, I think, one of the most feel-good movies I've seen in a long time. It just made me happy to watch it.
It is the Muppet movie to me. Like I said, there are other Muppet movies that I like more, but if you say the Muppet movie, this will always be sort of the quintessential. It tells a story that feels very Muppets and has a theme that feels very Muppets, and the whole thing is okay, this is the Muppets, I get it, it works. And there's never a point where it doesn't. And I feel like there are some jokes in the next movie that don't quite work, or there's okay, so the plot of the next movie is fucking weird, right?
Yeah, well, so when we'll get to it, but
But, like, that's not true for this one. We gotta start in on this other movie.
I liked this movie more than the last one after I just accepted that it wasn't going to be a movie. Or after I accepted that it wasn't going to be the movie that I wanted it to be, which was Muppet Impossible, Muppets 11. If you call your movie The Great Muppet Caper and Muppets aren't capering, change the name of your movie.
Caping.
I'm going to stick with capering, actually. I'm going to take a stand on that one.
Capering sounds like they're dancing.
Yeah, so caping sounds like they're just doing the Dracula thing.
Here is my problem with The Great Muppet Caper.
Mm-hmm.
The best line in The Great Muppet Caper, in my opinion, is, "They're going to steal the baseball diamond." Here's the problem. The problem is, the baseball diamond is mentioned 800 times, to the point where the phrase "the baseball diamond" is no longer a joke, which makes it not okay.
How my bigger problem with this movie, my meta problem with this movie, is that this London feels a lot like New York.
like how nobody here has an English accent except for fucking John Cleese?
Yeah, in what feels like, in a scene that feels like a very long Monty Python sketch.
But a good Monty Python
sketch, not a bad one. A good one.
With my favorite payoff of the entire movie.
No, but also, it's London. They're not gonna call it the baseball diamond. They're gonna call it the fucking cricket diamond or whatever. The tennis diamond.
That's a good point. The baseball diamond stops making sense when the movie takes place in London, where most of the movie takes place.
And here's the thing is, this movie could have easily... oh my god, it was actually shot in Great Britain and London.
That's awesome.
This was shot on location.
It would almost have to be, because it actually did have a lot of British actors in it.
It did. I just didn't say much.
We start on a bunch of hot air balloons. We sort of get an insight into the three main characters, even now, as they're talking. As we mentioned before, Kermit is a leader and Fozzie's a follower. But what we didn't really get out of the last movie is that Gonzo's insane. And if you watch The Muppet Show, you get that. But Gonzo's nuts.
The first 2 minutes of this movie, Gonzo was really speaking to my soul when he's talking about just, like, jumping out of this hot air balloon.
And Kermit's like, plummeting. I suppose you could try it once. Which I really like.
It's a good line. Try what, plummeting?
Gonzo's favorite thing is endangering himself.
No, but I totally get it. Like, whenever I'm in a high place, all I can think about is, what if I just fucking leaped? And the reason I don't do it is because I know I'll die. But if I was Gonzo and I knew that I was made of Muppet, I'd do it every day. What would stop me? My mortality? I'm a Muppet. I'm gonna be fine. Also, they do something way more dangerous than jumping out of a hot air balloon 2 minutes into this movie, which is not crashing a hot air balloon.
But they do crash a hot air balloon.
But they do crash a hot air... Well, that's another good joke where it's like, when does the movie start? Oh, we just pull this string, and then it causes the hot air balloon to just deflate.
They have a whole big musical number about how they're...
making a movie.
They do this big dance number. Sweetums cannot catch a break.
Oh, man. After spending the entirety of the last movie...
I don't know why in the classic Muppet movies, Sweetums is, like, literally stepped on.
Literally
it's
stepped
weird.
on by the villain of this movie. And we'll get to this villain.
He's not a good villain.
He's also not British.
I hate this villain, not because he's a bad villain, but because his motivation doesn't make any sense to me.
He doesn't have a motivation. He literally says as much.
Yes. It's not him that I dislike. It's his sister. And I do dislike his sister, but I dislike that they're siblings.
The thing is that they're supposed to be siblings, but I agree with him. And he should totally be robbing this woman blind. She kind of sucks.
She does suck, but there's no reason for them to be siblings.
What I wanted this movie to be is, this guy is robbing this woman blind. He's actually a con artist pretending to be her dead brother, which is why he sucks, A, and B, sounds American.
No.
And then the Muppets help him.
No. Andy, we cannot have a third movie in 2 episodes with the same plot. Because you just described the Addams Family movie.
Okay, no, I know that, but in this one, the person who's the con artist wins. Alternatively, make a Muppet her brother.
Yes, that would make sense. That would make as much sense as anything else, because the opening scene in this, by the way, what I actually love is that Fozzie, Kermit, and Gonzo explain their roles in the movie before the movie starts. They're like, we're actors, this is our role in this movie. And I really dig that.
I do think it's really cool that these movies take the time to talk to the kids who are clearly going to be watching these movies and letting them in on the joke of the movie.
But something that is better than all of that
is
the fact that Kermit and Fozzie are identical twins.
Identical twins. Well, it's because he doesn't have his hat on. Go put your hat on.
Oh, also Jack Warden. I assume he's a beloved character actor. I don't know this guy. He has one of the best performances in the film. I super wish that we had more time at this newspaper. He is their boss. He really sort of feeds into the Muppet energy, both with like when to go along with the jokes and when to like completely stomp on them. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's great.
He gets the comedic timing to a T, and he has this running bit where every time he slams his desk, one thing just inexplicably goes flying too high in the air, and he just looks at it like, the hell?
The only reason he hired them is because he was friends with their dad. And he shows them this picture.
This picture, Photoshop didn't exist in 1981, but I cannot explain how unless they made this.
They had to have made it,
and this
right?
is just sitting in a warehouse somewhere, waiting to be claimed by history. But it looks so ridiculous because it's just like Fozzie Bear, but made of green, and Kermit's face where his face should be.
And he's got the like Kermit, whatever you call it. I was going to call it a ruff, which is how I would describe it, but he's a frog. So like, what the hell is it? But you know, it's thick.
Is what?
I don't know. It looks like a triangular mane.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're talking about. Yes, he also has that.
It's great. It's wonderful. I have no fault with this first scene. I wish that the rest of this movie was like about them getting the news and that there was more shit with this guy.
Right?
Because he's the best. I wanted it to be like they were Peter Parker and he was demanding Spider-Man pics.
I need you to go get me pictures of this mysterious frog superhero kaputzing around New York.
Yes.
There are two.
Yes, I would watch that movie. I'm sorry. Stop for a second.
Okay.
Absolutely yes.
Why? You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, the time was 10 years ago when a Muppet superhero
Kermit
movie.
Jumping around. Fozzie could have super strength. He's already a bear. No, Piggy's got super strength. Gonzo would just constantly be injured because that's already Gonzo's.
No, but
Gonzo's shtick.
Gonzo isn't actually a superhero, though. He's just a guy. Like, he doesn't have superpowers. He just keeps throwing himself in.
Yep. What the hell is Fozzie? I don't know. But, like, somebody could make this work. It wouldn't even be hard.
This movie should have existed years ago. You are absolutely right. They could do the classic Superman thing where Kermit's wearing, like, the newspaper reporter outfit and he, like, opens up the shirt and it's got, like, a K on it or something.
Oh, but what if Kermit doesn't have a costume?
Oh, he just opens up the shirt.
He just takes his clothes off. I'm just saying, I would very much watch this movie.
I have to assume whatever the name of the movie is. Like, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. But when he opens up his shirt, that's what comes out of his, like, shirt into the title screen. But yeah, for the whole movie, he's just Kermit is his superhero, and his secret identity is, like, Lermit or something.
Lermit. I love it.
I'm just a mild-mannered reporter.
But that's the thing. I want this reporter energy. It's really good. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and it's right at the beginning.
A lot like how I was frustrated with Babe, Pig in the City for not being about herding sheep. I was really mad about this movie for not being about reporting the news.
They have this plan to get their job back after they're fired but what happened was, during the musical sequence, Lady Holiday's diamonds got stolen, and every other newspaper reported on it, and they completely missed it.
They reported on them getting their job.
On themselves.
But here's the thing, is you're the fucking editor of this newspaper, and you
put it on the front page.
And you okayed this being on the front page? Surely another reporter came up to you and was like, hey, boss, what about this diamond thing?
So you have immediately started applying logic to this movie.
Right, I'm sorry.
And it will fall apart.
You're absolutely right.
That's not because it's not because it's poorly made. It's because at no point did they want you to apply logic.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Usually it's like, oh, you can't apply logic to this terrible movie. This is like, you can't apply logic to this movie because this is not what it is.
I need to be absolutely clear. I do not think that this is a problem. This is fucking hilarious. The thing is when it comes to a newspaper, the buck stops at him, and he was willing to cash in this front page. So they get fired.
But they have this plan to get their jobs back, which is to go to England.
Go to London.
Interview Lady Holiday about her jewels, and that's it. Hopefully write a good enough story to get their jobs back. As we mentioned in the last movie, part of their shtick is they don't have any money. So they go as...
animals.
I guess as animals. It's like luggage, basically.
Fozzie's box is labeled bear. Kermit's is labeled frog, but Gonzo's is labeled whatever in quotes.
I didn't notice the quotes. So they're all thrown out of a plane. They crash into a pond. There's a duck who gives a pretty good reaction.
Usually when people ask me, hey, like, what superpower do you want? My go-to for the last 10 years has been teleportation. Super handy. Very useful. I think I'm going to change my mind to being a Muppet. Because you could just get thrown out of the plane.
You can.
And also, being very poor isn't a problem. Because when you're a Muppet, goodwill and cheer actually does make things better. And I really want that. I'm so tired.
So they go... After a cameo from some British actor, I can't remember now.
I recognize this British man from something. I would not be able to tell you what it was.
He tells them to go to the... What do they call the hotel?
The Happy Time Hotel?
Is it just Happiness Hotel?
Maybe. Happiness Hotel. You're absolutely right.
They go to the Happiness Hotel. So this will be a recurring bit that the Muppets cannot exit vehicles in this movie because they go to the Happiness Hotel by bus and are again just thrown out as it is moving.
I don't know what it is about Muppets, but watching them just getting flung around is absolutely enthralling. There is something to how they flop that is fascinating to watch.
They go into the hotel. There's this whole welcome song. We get Sam the Eagle popping out to say, "You are all weirdos."
You are all weirdos. I cherished those 3 seconds because I didn't know I was going to get another.
Sam the Eagle has 2 lines, and they are both solid. Then I think we just go to Lady Holiday. I don't know about you, but I immediately hated her.
So she's supposed to be this, like, fashion designer, right? Coco Chanel, but British.
Right.
But she's just walking around telling all of these women that they look terrible. And then she calls her assistant and says, we have to redo our entire fashion lineup before we start tomorrow. Which, fucking lady, listen, this shit should have been locked down months ago. Do you know how hard it is to do a fashion lineup like this? The time it takes to set this up? Have you not seen the amazing TV show on Netflix, 7 Days Out? Like, it is a bitch. You are wasting everybody's time. And her lineup isn't even that good. It is extremely basic. We're not there yet, I know, but this shit would not fly. Not even in 1981. Like, you need to step up your fashion game, lady, all right? Fucking, this is lowbrow Sears level shit that you're fucking waltzing around.
So I immediately hated Lady Holiday. She plays like, I'll get to this comparison in a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I already hate Lady Holiday, but also she's right. All of those clothes look hideous. They were all so terrible, and they do get slightly better by the end in that they look like normal clothes.
They do not. I'm sorry. No.
But like right here, it's all like capes, like full cover-up capes.
She's like, the designer.
That's the thing. She's right. She makes some terrible clothes. Maybe she's stressed out because of all of her missing diamonds.
You know what? Then you put this shit on hold until you take care of your missing diamonds.
And then Miss Piggy walks in and is straight up and will constantly be, in this movie, in a different genre.
So here's the thing is there are 3 movies happening in this movie, all right? 4.
Okay, so this is what it is. Miss Piggy is like Anne Hathaway in any of her movies that's not a rom-com.
It's double.
And Lady Holiday, yes, is any of Anne Hathaway's bosses.
Meryl Streep. Thank you. I was like, who was the amazing actress in Devil Wears Prada? It was Meryl Streep.
I could only think of Anne Hathaway, and she's never the boss.
She's never. Well, I think
maybe she is by now.
Maybe by now. I would hope by now she is the boss.
Anyway, so Lady Holiday plays like a villain in one of those. I don't even know what genre that is because it's not a genre I watch, and I wouldn't know how to define it.
If you've seen any movie about the fashion industry, you know who this woman is. She's the head of the fashion line, who's constantly like sniping at people, and nothing's ever fast enough for her. Right, like living on this level of extremeness.
We don't get to her. There's no conclusion to that. Like finally standing up to her, or finally appreciating her, or nothing.
Because Miss Piggy decides to stop being in that movie and start being in a romantic comedy.
Ends up in a different movie, not a romantic comedy. What you said is also wrong. Because by the time she actually enters this movie, for real, she is in an action flick that none of the other Muppets are in.
Oh, no. Before she gets to be in that action movie.
She is for a little while in a romantic comedy.
She's pretending to
where
be
there's a
someone
weird love
not,
triangle.
Yeah, where there is the weirdest love triangle. Who did this? You cannot have a real-life physical man fall in love with a Muppet. I refuse.
Andy, this is very common for Miss Piggy.
I know, but that is
everybody loves Miss Piggy.
But I don't. This guy is like making like faces, and he's like 2 inches away from her face.
Everybody loves Miss Piggy.
But Tony, there is a scene later in this movie that has a lot of weird energy where he's like holding onto her, and she's like afraid of him, and that's what I don't need. Or when he's dancing with her and they're like this close to kissing, and Kermit's watching and he's like, I'm gonna murder that man.
Lady Holiday is terrible, but she does hire Miss Piggy despite Miss Piggy not having, like, the only thing she shows her is a bunch of model shots of her doing the exact same pose.
Which is a good
in
joke.
Different clothing. But she does hire her as a secretary, which is, again, this is just a different movie. And then we find out a little bit about the villains, whatever, I don't care.
She literally in like 2 sentences explains the plot of the movie, but in a way that kind of makes you realize, this doesn't matter because this isn't what the movie's
plot of the
about.
movie is a joke. It's kind of my biggest problem with the movie. I don't need a movie to take itself seriously, but I do need a movie to have a story.
Because it was so obvious, I kept waiting for there to be like a comedy twist at the end.
No, there really wasn't, though. It was just straightforward. We told you everything that was going to happen, and then it happened.
Yeah, and then it happens, and I'm like, well, it's still, the jokes are still funny, but the overarching meta joke is not funny because it never commits to a punchline. And so instead what happens is we get these like 4 different movies floating around, and then one of them just
crashing into each other.
Yeah, literally crashing into each other. Literally jumping through a stained glass into each other.
Kermit shows up after Lady Holiday leaves and mistakes Miss Piggy for Lady Holiday. And she does this great, terrible thing.
I love this.
Where we're like, she's like, okay, I'm Lady Holiday, you want me to be Lady Holiday, whatever. And he asks to pick her up for her date. For a date. And he asks where she lives. And she says, guess? And he says some highbrow street, and he's like, she's like, exactly, highbrow street. Guess the number. 17? Yes, 17 Highbrow Street, which is a terrible plan. Why don't you make him like meet you in a park or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tony, first of all, you never ask anybody, especially a guy, to meet you at a park that's like isolated. You want to meet in like a coffee shop.
A public park is not necessarily isolated.
At night?
They're in London.
The only other people who are going to be at that park are other people getting crimes committed at them.
Also,
go meet somebody in a coffee shop.
At night. The idea of having the date at 4:30 was floated. So
it could have been a brunch, but they decided to go all the way into dinner.
Well, it's 8, which is like, I feel like also late for dinner.
So late for dinner. No, not to me. I'm going to be honest. I eat my dinner at 10, but if I'm going out to dinner, that happens at 6, 7:30.
Well, yeah, because you want to be home.
Yes, exactly, because I want to be home to eat my real dinner at 10. Because
at like midnight. That's my deal.
Not because I don't want to go eat dinner, but because if I go eat dinner with sometimes I go eat dinner with people and I'm not hungry because I'm so full of social anxiety, so I'll just take it to go and I'll microwave it later. That's not the point.
Kermit has this date, and then everybody at the highbrow hotel finds out he has this date because he tells Fozzie about it.
Fozzie is so terrible at keeping a secret that the moment he says, "Don't worry, I'll keep this secret for you," Muppet Nightly News is reporting it. Like, how bad?
Just a great gag.
He, like, went back in time to ruin it.
It's a decent musical number when Kermit's getting all dressed up to go out with Lady Holiday.
I like the shadow gag only because that's another thing where I'm like, how did they do that? Like, clearly that's like a trick of light, but still, it's a lot of fun.
And Fozzie, in a move that I almost could not fathom, berates Kermit into allowing him to come along.
Now, here's the thing, right, is Kermit, you gotta lay down the law, my dude. Listen, has my little brother ever asked to go on a date with me? No, because he respects my privacy. But if he did, I would say, maybe. But that's not the point. You should say no.
It's such a weird request that it's hard to say you definitely say no,
yeah,
right?
Because if he asks, I'm like, what? Why?
What?
Are you, like, scared something's gonna happen? I don't want this to happen, but this is such a weird thing to ask of me.
Like a double date situation. That's not crazy, right?
Yeah.
That feels like, then it's like slightly lower stress than a regular date.
Yeah, then what's happening is I'm driving my brother to his date and I'm bringing my girlfriend along so I don't feel weird, is what you just described. So that I have something to do and someone to hang out with.
Oh no, Andy, you gotta really bathe in that third wheel energy.
No, never again. Do you want to know how I watched Wreck-It Ralph? Here's how I watched Wreck-It Ralph. Is a buddy of mine asked me, "Hey man, I'm gonna go watch Wreck-It Ralph. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Hell yeah! You're like one of my best friends at the time. Let's go watch this movie." And when he comes to pick me up, there is a girl in his car. I was not informed of this, and she was mad at him. And I realized she thought this was a date, and he brought me along to make her know it wasn't. I was used.
Oh, that is bleak.
And that was I could not pay attention to this movie because this woman was staring daggers into me.
Well, see, that's not even real third wheel energy.
I wanted to, like, somehow let her know, listen, I was tricked too. This isn't my fault, I swear.
This isn't my fault, I swear. Yes! Oh my god!
I was so mad at him. I never went to a movie with him again unless I knew 3 other people were involved. Like, you're not doing this to me again, motherfucker. I felt so used. I felt so dirty. Why not just tell her you didn't want to go on a date, coward?
That is so much different than what this situation is.
No, I know, but that's what you described. Like, I like had like a
what
PTSD
I was
flashback.
talking about
Sorry.
was when, like, I go out with, like, one of my siblings and their significant others.
Yeah, that's different.
Also, like, unlike this, not a first date.
No, yeah, this was not a first date, very clearly.
That is great. That is wonderful. Anyway, Fozzie ends up...
Well, but here's the thing, right, is once Fozzie comes along, Gonzo's fucking coming too.
Fozzie thinks that the invitation to him, which is still Kermit allowing his twin brother to come with him, means that everybody is invited.
Which, here's the thing, right? Again, if I got asked out on a date, I'm not bringing my identical twin with me for multiple reasons.
So it's multiple reasons there are 2 of you.
No.
It's the best I can do.
That's really good. But no, but one of the reasons is for the sake of doing a really funny joke later on that doesn't emotionally hurt anyone. Gotta keep that in my back pocket. But but also, I don't want to bring my identical twin along and have competition. Because as far as I know, the only thing this woman likes about me is the way I look. And now she's got a fucking buffet of choices.
Well, that was kind of a gross thing you just said.
So, I know. But so you don't bring your identical twin along to A, eliminate competition, and B, potentially have a good bit to do later on. Am I a terrible person? Yes, maybe, but that's not the point.
I firmly believe this. Breaking into 17 Highbrow Street was an unnecessary step.
You could have waited outside the front door.
These people apparently never go outside, so it would have worked.
I think the lady literally mentions not having left the house in years.
In 12 years, yeah.
Oh my god. I can't. That is like a dream to me, if I could stay in my house for 12 years. What?
It's just that we're similar in so many ways that it's a little bit scary.
But also very different in so many ways. The difference between me and you is I don't want to be in solitary confinement. I want to be allowed to leave. I'm never going to do it.
So John Cleese has this great line. There's a pig climbing up the house, and he sort of delivers it like that, in that sort of weird, tired way I just delivered it, because it's in the middle of like an awkward conversation about the weather with his wife. I love how there's this image of upper crust English people that I guess has just been around since the Revolutionary War. There's a lot of antics here, but Piggy answers the door when Kermit knocks, and he has a line, "I thought you said the pets were dead." Which I really loved.
And earlier he says, "The butler's dead." And his wife says, "No, the pets are dead.
No, the
butler's been discharged." Which is a choice of word that makes it sound like they killed the butler.
Okay, so Piggy takes Kermit on a tour of the house so as not to give away that she's not really Lady Holiday.
Give up the gamut.
And, like, drags him into a closet where John Cleese finds them. He's holding, like, a poker, like a fireplace poker. And, like, you know, if you see somebody in your house, you gotta, like, strike them. And then he does what I think the joke is a very British thing, where he sort of hides it behind his back and says, "Don't think me rude, but is there, in fact, anything I can do for you at all?"
I don't mean to be a bother, but is there anything we can do for you at all?
And they get a restaurant off of him and head out.
Well, it's more of a supping club.
You're like, yes, I tried to explain that to them.
What does his wife say to him after he says that? She's like, well, it's not your fault, dear.
Yeah, like, don't blame yourself.
Yeah, don't blame yourself. It's like... I love John Cleese and this woman. They go to this restaurant where the real Lady Holiday is with her brother. And I don't know what movie this guy thinks he's acting in.
He does bring a very weird vibe to the movie, doesn't he?
Every time he's on screen, he's moving in a way that makes me think he's a contortionist or very drunk. Not sure which, but there's like a point at this point in the movie where they're playing music and he starts dancing. And for a moment I thought, is he pretending to be drunk? But then he gets up and he's still dancing. And I'm like, what, is he having like a stroke or something? And then he starts walking away and he's still dancing. And I'm like, oh, he's dancing to the music. Because he's not moving to the rhythm in a way that, like, makes sense. And his neck's doing this weird thing even when he's not dancing, where he's, like, leaning into people. This man has, like, a weird way he holds his body, and I don't like it. But then he stops doing it once the heist movie starts.
Piggy and Kermit have this whole dance number, and there's this whole dance number around Piggy and around this guy.
This fucking guy.
Meanwhile, Gonzo is constantly taking pictures of patrons in order to get $10 off of each of them, it seems like.
Well, they gotta pay for this dinner somehow.
He seems to think this will be enough to pay for this dinner, which, from context clues, I don't think it will be.
Probably not, but I guess they got off with a free dinner after the events of the night.
Yes, I gather they all kind of just slipped away.
So fucking Charlie's Angels show up.
Yeah, these are weird characters too, because I feel like there's nothing to them either.
No, other than that they hate their boss, which we have agreed makes sense.
Well, there's nothing to their boss either. They're all like caricatures more than anything.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, the opposite of a way a Muppet movie should be shot, which is the Muppet should be like more caricatures, and the regular humans should feel more grounded.
Yeah, because they're people. The only human being who should act like a Muppet is Steven Seagal, and that's just because of how he is. I said Steven Seagal, that is not his name.
Did you mean Jason Segel?
I meant Jason Segel.
What's the name of that guy? Danny DeVito.
Okay, fine.
Say, what about Danny DeVito? I think Danny DeVito acts like a Muppet.
Yes, you are absolutely correct, and I was wrong. Two people.
So... Gonzo snaps a picture of them taking the jewels when the Lights go out. Somebody yells that Lady Holiday's jewels have been taken, which makes Miss Piggy run off because she's been found out. She leaves behind a glass slipper because sure, why not?
Because you know what? This is a Cinderella story.
It's not. It's just the addition of another kind of movie in this movie. That's kind of the end of that scene. And then we go to an improvised darkroom. Filmmaking rule: never show an improvised darkroom if you're not going to ruin a photo. There's no other reason to have an improvised darkroom other than to have a door open and the light hits the photo and your evidence is gone. Which is what happens. So that means the Muppets literally know all four of the bad guys at this point. They know that Lady Holiday's brother stole the jewel and gave it to those three women.
Yes.
I'm not in love with that, especially because, like you said earlier, there's no real twist to it.
I wholly expected the sister to be in on it, and that she was going to show up at the end of the movie holding like a massive revolver. But maybe the Addams Family gave me too much to hope for, but...
Then Kermit goes out onto a bench to be sad. We get, who the hell is this? Because
this is Columbo. This is Peter Falk. Literally doing his Columbo bit where he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to you. This is what happened to you, okay? Here's what you did, all right? You went and you decided to go in with your brother on this little what is it? A laundromat, right?
Dry cleaning business.
But another dry cleaning business opens up down the street, and they're doing lower prices. They're cutting off all of your pay. Your partner, he comes at you, he's like, I want to buy out. Your wife, you're not coming home as much. Your kids, they don't love you. He goes off on this amazing story that ends...
It is A+ storytelling.
I love Columbo. And to see Peter Falk just walk on screen doing the Columbo thing, I was like in awe. This was the funniest bit, especially because it ends with, "So what did you do, huh? You bought out and you took what little money you had left and you went into a glass slipper business." That's exactly what happened.
And Kermit says, have all our listeners seen the newest Star Wars movie?
100% of everything you just said was wrong. I need Kermit as Luke Skywalker. Can this happen? Disney owns both. They can do this to us.
Piggy shows up. I guess she's just at the park and he confronts her.
After Columbo leaves.
They have it out and she starts begging for him to forgive her. And he goes, Piggy, you're overacting.
There is a line that she has where, because they start arguing. This is where this was the like, oh, I'm at my friend's house and his parents are arguing moment.
Uh-huh.
She says, I'm playing 800 different parts, and Kermit says, well, try to play at least one of them right. and that was a line that cut so deep that I was like, oh, I need to leave. I have to go.
They're just like fighting. They're like, and Kermit's like, okay, let's get back to the movie. And they just like go back into it.
Oh, what a good bit. We get that Muppet bike tech back.
Not only just Kermit, there are many, maybe all of the current Muppets on bikes in this scene. It is crazy. And, cherry on top, there are humans riding bikes around them. So you know it's not like miniatures or something like that.
These are life-size Muppets.
Then I think we go back to Lady Holiday and her brother. Lady Holiday is... Here's the thing. Whatever else you believe about this terrible person, you need to know that she is the perfect Rube. She is just literally the worst.
So this is the fashion show.
There's a better time to mention that. It's at the end of the fashion show. Yeah. So there's this fashion show. This is when we get that weird scene in between this dude and Piggy.
You know what I don't need in my Muppet movie is this man grabbing Miss Piggy and like shaking her. Like, you're gonna want to be with me. You've made a big mistake. Like, what the fuck is this movie? What movie does this guy think he's in right now? Because he is acting like he's in a Lifetime original movie where he plays the shitty ex-husband.
Yeah, that's sort of the energy here, and I don't love it.
I don't like it. I do like the energy he has when the other movie starts.
So he and the girls devise this plan, which is for one of them to basically take a fall, like in soccer when somebody walks near you.
Ah! Oh no. I seem to
and
be
get Miss Piggy to go out in her
injured.
place.
This is, I think, where this actor does a good job because he like is holding this woman and he's like, no, Miss Piggy, you must take her place, and like fake acting in a way that's really funny. And then Miss Piggy straight up drops this woman like she's a dead body. So Miss Piggy has to take the stage.
Yeah, and she does terribly. The sort of joke of Miss Piggy is that everybody does find her attractive. Either in this creepy way from this one dude, or from a more
Marilyn Monroe
platonic
celebrity kind of love, yeah.
Yes. And she, in this scene, does not live up to that. She has this whole dream sequence song and ends up diving into a fountain, I guess?
I love this dream sequence song because I get dueling opera between Kermit and this fucking guy.
This is where the line, all the world ever wanted was you, where both of them are singing it at her.
But they're like both trying to out-sing the other.
Yes.
I want that movie!
There are a lot of movies that this movie touched and like could have been, and I sort of wish that they had picked one.
I don't remember Phantom of the Opera that well because it's a bad movie, but I do know that in Phantom of the Opera there isn't a scene where the Phantom and that other fucking guy try to out-sing each other.
Just the regular dude.
Yeah.
Just the like regular dude that she likes for some reason, I guess.
But I assume that she likes him because he's a regular dude and not a fucking
And
basement
not a
golem. Yeah. You know, I'd take a regular dude any day over this fucking weirdo.
You're right. I think the regular dude was the guy that Wishbone played in Wishbone, so...
I would hope so.
What I remember is I remember the Phantom's face in Wishbone. If I remember the Phantom's face, then it wasn't Wishbone.
Is he
right?
Yeah, well, but also I do want Wishbone with like a little tiny broken opera mask.
Oh, tiny little mask.
On his little dog face.
Oh, little dog face. This is the part where Lady Holiday is the perfect rube, because...
Oh my god.
Pretty fucking clearly, her brother put a jacket on Miss Piggy. And Miss Piggy immediately reaches in and said, this isn't mine. And there's Lady Holiday's necklace without the diamonds. And she's like, you stole my diamonds! And it's like, what the fuck, Holiday, you dumb bitch? In the beginning, you talked about how your brother would definitely steal your diamonds from you.
I know, but I love this because as the police who are just there at this fashion show, I guess, waiting for crime to happen.
Well, actually, that kind of makes sense. She keeps getting her shit stolen.
That's true. I think at this point it makes sense that the police are following her around. They're taking Miss Piggy away, and she's being interviewed by this reporter. And the reporter's like, will you hire any more pigs? And she's like, well, I shall certainly have to think about it. Like, what kind of fucking Seto Kaiba-ass answer is that? Like...
Hey, in any other movie, that's the most racist-ass thing I've ever heard. But it's a Muppet movie, so she's not actually a race, she's a pig.
Yeah, but it's still... Mr. Kaiba, will you ever hire an Egyptian again? I've said before, no problem with Egyptians. I think they're great people with great culture. It's these magicians who happen to be Egyptian that I'm not hiring.
I wish I had the chops to write the song Egyptian Magician. I just do.
You're just trying to make it sound like I think Egyptians suck.
Then, of course, a quote, I think Egyptians suck,
is
Seto
all
Kaiba.
over the news. And Mokuba's like, this is why you gotta do PR training. You just go around saying shit.
Why don't you just build another space elevator and I'll talk to the press from
Why
now
don't
on?
you just go to your boyfriend's dimension and never come back this time? How about you fucking stay there?
Damn.
Oh, man.
Where's that movie?
Right? Oh, it's coming, man. It has to be. Gonzo gets to hear the brother's master plan because he's too busy fucking feeding his kneecap fetish.
Don't kink shame Gonzo. He's weird, and he doesn't have his girlfriend in this one.
What a weird thing to know about a Muppet. I was just sitting around down there taking a picture of people's knees. For my...
Okay, here's the plan. The plan is to go into the museum and steal the baseball diamond. Great, whatever. Kermit gives this big speech to all the Muppets, and he says there's going to be like danger and gunplay and all this other stuff.
Physical violence.
And if anybody is out, say it now. And people just start going, I'm out.
This joke is done in like everything ever, but I love it every time where everyone's like, we're not going to do this. This is terrible. This is crazy. And then...
But the thing I love about it is I think it really works for the Muppets. Because part of the joke for the Muppets is, yeah, they're gonna end up doing it. Yeah, they're the Muppets.
Also, the fact that they get Gonzo to do the speech that gets everyone on board is peak comedy.
And then we get Sam the Eagle popping his head out of his hotel room again to say, at times like this make me proud to be an American.
What are you doing in London?
A line that makes no fucking sense.
You patriotic motherfucker.
And I love it to death.
It's amazing. Oh.
So this heist seems to be way above the villain's pay grade.
Oh, they got fucking... Well, I mean, this is what they were stealing all those diamonds for.
So they were stealing these diamonds, right? But they were like literally stealing them off of the neck of Lady Holiday.
Yes.
I did not think that they were actually set up to do Ocean's 11.
They got fucking grappling hooks. We got fucking, like, scanners and radar guns and, like, just a bunch of, like, hacking stuff. We get hacking in this movie that came out pre-computers, pretty much.
I mean, I think that computers didn't have internet.
Yeah, the Macintosh just came out, so yeah, but...
This is like a duel scene where the villains are going over everything they need for their plan. The Muppets are going over everything they need for their plan. And the Muppets don't have most of what they need for their plan. And also a lot of the stuff is like peanut butter, yo-yos, whoopee cushion. I love the whoopee cushion because they say whoopee cushion. Somebody says, I think it's on the bus, which is great because it's like you can't check.
I guess. Maybe it's there. Hopefully. I forget what it is, but it's like, do we have this thing? And the one of the Muppets says, in transit. Kermit goes to visit Miss Piggy in prison.
Oh, yeah. This was weird.
They make out for a little bit. Now, we don't get to see it because there's a tasteful black bar in the way. But they swap some mustache.
Well, there's a black bar in the way, and also there is glass in the way. This is impossible.
There can't be glass in the way, Tony. They literally swap mustache.
Kermit and the others are going to the museum.
Mm-hmm. We're off to the museum.
The really sensible thing to do would be wait until they're definitely in the museum and then call the cops, right?
Yes. Well, the cops are already there.
I'm not saying, the Muppets should do the sensible thing.
Plot hole!
It felt really weird to be watching this thinking like, man, they did not need to also break into this museum.
I do love that they did, but the thing is I'm glad that I got to see them break into the museum.
They break into the museum by delivering a pizza, and they are pretending to be pizza guys, and everybody just sort of wanders in as Kermit and Fozzie are dressed up. Everybody's walking behind them. There's a pretty good gag where they climb up the walls of the museum because the dogs are chasing them. They're like, there's no way we're getting up there. And the dogs start chasing them, they shoot up.
I do love the, I guess climbing animation isn't the right word, but the way Muppets
I don't know how they manage it.
When they're climbing stuff, which they're moving up, but their limbs are like moving perfectly perpendicular to them in a way that's really funny. Yeah, I have no idea how they pull this off, but it's really good.
It's a bunch of really weird stuff they've done in this movie. Okay.
Oh, we're about to get to the weirdest thing once we get to fucking Tom Cruise.
You want to talk about it?
No, we're not there yet. Are we there yet? Yeah, no, Miss Piggy breaks out of prison.
I was gonna mention Miss Piggy first, yes.
Miss Piggy fucking hulks out.
So I don't know how she manages this, because this makes no sense. She busts down the bars, and then, like, I guess grabs onto the laundry truck.
And just leaves.
Doesn't hide in it, is just holding on. I assume she had to knock out so many guards on the way out, because otherwise, how did this happen? So then she needs to, after the laundry truck, she needs to get onto a... Who is this guy in this scene who has the truck?
This is Peter Ustinov. He's a pretty popular British actor, but I think the most famous thing he did might have been either he was in Spartacus and he played Emperor Nero in a thing. I recognized him from something as well, but he was Hercule Poirot in a bunch of like 80s Agatha Christie movies. But that was after this movie, so...
She throws him into the trash bins with Oscar the Grouch, which was a nice touch.
I do love their exchange of lines. What are you doing here? A quick cameo. Me too.
And she drives off.
In this truck.
Yeah, let's stick with her for a little while. So the truck then...
runs out of gas.
She gets out, and then a different truck drives by.
Fucking Acme Motorcycle Shipping. Hits a bump and a motorcycle with a costume. Falls out of this truck. And now she's in a fucking Evel Knievel movie.
I want to mention this. Piggy almost seems to have human legs on that motorcycle, which is maybe how the motorcycle was actually driven, if it was a real motorcycle.
Oh no, Miss Piggy definitely all of a sudden just looks like a small man.
It's very off-putting and, like, weird looking. Because I have this, like, very ingrained idea of what Miss Piggy looks like, and it suddenly isn't that.
We are all very familiar with Miss Piggy's body type, and it is not small man. Is the thing. This man has curves in all the wrong places. But I checked because I needed to know, and that was a dude. I think he's listed as Miss Piggy's stunt double.
That's adorable.
Which is good. That's how you do that. At this point, I think the Muppets are watching through a skylight, and the villains walk in and they steal the baseball diamond. And then the Muppets just fall on top of them and shenanigans ensue.
Actually, do you know what I love about that scene? Beaker tests the alarm, which apparently electrocutes him.
Yes.
And then the villains turn off the alarm, and the Muppets are like, "Hey, we did it!"
Good job,
and then
Beaker.
have Animal break in.
Bite through steel bars. He bites through steel bars.
Yep. And they crash down on top of the baddies with the baseball diamonds. Hijinks ensue.
They get a very long baseball joke, which I don't think Tony appreciated.
Again, the best line delivery in the movie is, "They're going to steal the baseball diamond." But that only works if it's taken out of this movie. If it is removed and stood alone, it works so well.
If I ran up to a random person and I grabbed them by the shoulders and I said, "They're going to steal the baseball diamond," I would have made that person's day.
The baseball diamond should only have been mentioned once in passing, and then again there. And then, when they had it, it should not have looked like a baseball, because that's too on the nose.
That's a little too... This is literally a baseball, but like a bedazzled.
It should have just looked like, a stupid movie
like
diamond.
Like a big fucking diamond, like Carmen
like
San
a big
Diego.
fuck-off diamond.
I've seen Carmen San Diego. Just give me a big fucking diamond that's the size of a baseball.
Yeah. What's she gonna do, steal the pyramids again?
Yes.
Damn.
How? How did she do it?
How? And where did she put it? Is it in France?
No, Tony, we know exactly where she put them, in that fucking town at Big 2, Pig in the City. That's where the Eiffel Tower went?
Okay, but is that town in France? Because I don't know.
We don't know, and we'll never know.
Okay. Oh, that was a good reference to our other podcasts. Listen to our other podcasts.
So, Kermit misses the big catch and gets taken hostage. And this movie explains its problem very well here, where Kermit asks the villain why he's doing it, and he literally says, "Why? 'Cause I'm a villain. Pure and simple." I need more than that.
It feels pretty weak.
There could have been something there, like a meta commentary on villains in movies, but there wasn't. It's a punchline to a joke that isn't that funny.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't enough good setup to it.
I have an issue with all the setup in this movie. I think a lot of the jokes are good, but don't land nearly as well as they could.
That's the thing is this movie, I think I had more fun watching this movie, but this movie wasn't as good as the first one. The first movie was genuinely good.
Then movie, jeez,
Then movie, then this movie, no, then movie 4 shows up.
Then movie 4 shows up, smashing into movie 3.
Fucking just crashing into it at the speed of bike.
As Miss Piggy smashes through a stained glass window and, I don't know, lands on the guy. Who cares?
Yeah, and like kind of sort of knocks him out, but then Kermit knocks him out by hitting him on the head with the diamond with the weakest tap. That got me a chuckle.
There are bits of this movie, not even bits, there are full parts of this movie that should be in this movie. Like, banging him on the head with the baseball diamond, that's the best ending for that character.
Yes.
But he should have been a character first.
Exactly. It would have been better if he was better. So then Miss Piggy beats up all the girls. Fucking, this is the part where Animal is hurting these women by just yelling, "Woman, woman, woman, woman," and
he just goes, "Bye-bye."
But here's the thing, right? Is what would have made this joke a little bit funny is if one of the women was like, "Call me," or something.
That would have been cute.
Because then it's not this.
Also not, like, weirdly creepy, because, as we mentioned before, Animal as a Muppet is great.
He's great.
If you ever take a second to contextualize, what would this behavior be like if this were a human person? It's the scariest fucking thing I can conceive of.
Him saying bye-bye is one half of making this okay. The other half is one of these three women reciprocating that bye-bye.
Also, then importantly, those women would have had any character at all.
Oh god, I know. But here's a good example, though, right? Is in the first movie, this is a scene we kind of didn't talk about, which is when Sweetie, is that his name? Sweetums. At one point, he runs through the tent of all of the other pageant winners while he's chasing down Kermit and co. And all of the beauty pageant winners are running out of the tent screaming, but they have the biggest fucking grins on their faces because they're clearly having a ton of fun. But these women look genuinely terrified of what's happening to them.
I feel like maybe part of the problem with this movie is it doesn't feel like the human characters are having that much fun, except for the cameos. Everybody who walks in on a cameo looks like they're having the time of their lives.
The Columbo and Monty Python, Cleese.
John Cleese.
John Cleese, I think more out of everyone else, look like they're having an amazing time. Yeah. Like they would do this again in a heartbeat.
I think I would be terrible as a famous person. Okay.
Okay, walk me through this.
But if I could be on screen with a Muppet, holy shit, man.
I would only have one caveat. They cannot let me touch the Muppets. Because unless they are as amazingly soft and amazing to hug as they look, I cannot have that in my mind broken. Does that make sense?
I see that.
Because in my head, I know
Boy, the way Elmo interacts with babies, I have to believe that the Muppets are just as soft as they look.
I don't know. Elmo looks particularly soft even. I feel like Elmo could punch a baby and that baby would, like, gain health points. Like, that's how soft Elmo looks.
That's how that works. I don't know if you guys knew that.
That's why every baby who's ever been punched by Elmo, like, they are going to live to 100. They're going to be our first generation that lives forever, are those babies.
Holy moly. Okay. The movie ends, by the way. I guess the movie ends with them being on the plane again.
Yeah, they're on the plane home.
But so are all of the other Muppets, not just our three main characters.
Well, yeah, we gotta bring all the Muppets home.
Everybody who was at the Happiness Hotel is on their way home now. And we end the movie, much as it started, by falling out of the sky on parachutes instead of on a balloon. And I like the bookendedness of that, but, like, especially... I just really liked that first movie.
The thing is the first movie is this heartwarming thing, and it also has the amazing capability of being so fucking hilarious. And the second movie is pretty funny, but it is so goddamn weird.
You make a decent point, it's not heartwarming. There's nothing, like, heartwarming in the movie, really, because, like, there's none of that follow your dream stuff, and, like, all the romantic stuff is sort of tainted by this third dude, by this third person.
I legitimately thought you were gonna say there was none of that follow your dream shit.
Yeah, there's none of that follow your dream bullshit that they're always tossing around on this crap. But as I've said before, I think The Muppet Christmas Carol is my favorite, like, full Muppet movie. And it's heartwarming as fuck.
I absolutely agree, but I also do think that movie has the amazing... You know what this movie needs? It needs Michael Caine, right? It needs either Columbo or John Cleese to stick around for the whole movie. To have that... Because if you're not going to have a character, at least have an actor with an ounce of charisma who can carry a movie. Because... if you're gonna put all of the weight on the Muppets, you can't have all this extra human shit around. Like,
I think that's a good point. We were talking about, when we did the Muppet Christmas Carol, we were talking about how a Muppet movie is best if it focuses on the humans, but the Muppet movie, which is a very good movie, focuses almost entirely on the Muppets, but also there are barely any humans in that.
All of the humans that we interact with are cameos.
So it seems like what you need is you either need the focus on people, or you need people to barely be in there.
You need people to get out of the goddamn way. Like, have enough of them for everyone watching to understand that the Muppets exist on Earth.
So yeah, watch both these movies, but watch the Muppet movie first and more often.
And yeah, I think definitely watch the Muppet movie again and again and again. It's fucking totally worth the rewatch.
Thank you for listening to Direct to Video.
We haven't said what we're watching next week.
Okay, but we usually wrap up before that.
Okay, well, you wrap up while I look it up. Then.
Okay. I have been your host and starry-eyed Muppet lover, Tony Robusto.
I am Andy, irresponsible parasite Reyes.
Find me on Twitter at TheaterBats. And you can find the comic that I do at inspiredbytrueevents.org.
You can find me on Twitter at royalty_valens. Tell me your real-life speedrun strats.
You can find other episodes of the podcast at directio.video or wherever you get podcasts. And wherever you get podcasts, leave a review or a rating.
We would prefer that you give us those 5 stars.
If you leave a review, talk about how you really love our Muppet episodes, so I can make us do more Muppet episodes.
I'd like to give a special thanks to Lee Rosevere for Planet E off of the soundtrack Trappist 1.
Alright, I'll allow it. Soundtrack is a weird term to have used, but still good.
Album? Damn it.
It is not the soundtrack to Trappist 1.
Listen.
The Place in Space.
Listen, man, I was thinking so hard about what the names could possibly be that all of other English... I guess I just took the least offensive term.
Is that everything?
I think so. So, Tony, do you want to know what we're watching next week?
I mean, it's not going to be as good as this.
No,
really.
oh no, it's not. We're going back to my favorite fucking tax scam, I think.
Oh no! No, Andy, wait! What have I done?
We're gonna watch The Swan Princess, A Royal Family Tale. And The Swan Princess, Princess Tomorrow, Pirate Today. Which we finally get to the pirate movie, which is what I wanted.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, I was excited to get to that pirate movie. Since our last Swan Princess movie, 2 more have come out.
I need to mention something, just really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the music in The Great Muppet Caper quite as much as I did in the Muppet movie.
I agree.
The Swan Princess is such bad music.
Oh, dude.
Andy, it's so terrible.
Are you sure that you're not excited for Get the Job Done?
I'm not excited for what I know will happen, which is another rendition of No Fear.
I don't see it in here, but I'm also not going to hold out hope for that. But are you not excited for the song We Want Meat?
Thank you for that. Or, I am the ghost of John... Go to bed! I'm the ghost of John Smith! Go away! Leave me! Oh, they have real chickens, which is like a weird thing in a movie where you have a chicken for a character.
No,
it's not different. A real chicken.
I remember reading this comic where these 2 animal people are going to the park, and one of them's like a dog person, and she says, "Oh, give me a minute, let me go get my dog." And the other guy's like, "Isn't that weird?" No, it's different. And that's the feeling I hear. Like, a Muppet chicken is different than a chicken.
You ever see Amazing World of Gumball? When they go to that pet shop, and Gumball just like sees a cat, and he's like, "Mom?"
Mom?
And she's like, "Try not to think about it."
I will say that Amazing World of Gumball does have like Mondo Muppet vibes in terms of its ability to just use itself. Does that make sense? The fourth wall stuff is, I guess, what I mean. There's like a lot of meta jokes about animation in The Amazing World of Gumball. In the same way, there are a lot of meta jokes about making movies and making television shows in The Muppets.
I guess the difference is there's not a lot of meta jokes about puppets in the Muppets.
Well, there can't be. You can't break that.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the next movie, Piggy and Kermit break character to talk to each other as Miss Piggy and Kermit.
And that scene is amazing. It really felt like I walked into a friend's house while their parents were fighting. I was like, oh, I should go. Like playing Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo was great and all, but your parents are legit yelling at each other and I'm gone.